It's Inga from Health Origins here. I hope you well. So, welcome to part 8 of transitioning to healthier eating. So, in this part, a very important topic of why oil is not healthy. Okay, so none of the oils. You might ask, what about extra virgin, low pressed olive oil, for example, right? No, that is not healthy either. Oil is oil, regardless of whatever oil it is, it's actually concentrated fat and it's saturated fat, or biggest part of it. For example, olive oil, right? You might think, well, olive oil is healthy because, it's Mediterranean diet uses it, and Mediterranean diet is the healthiest diet out there, and, it's full of olive oil. Well, you will be interested to know that there's been studies done on Mediterranean diets. In fact, Greek people are among the fattest people in Europe, because you might think, oh, Greek, they use Mediterranean diet and a lot of olive oil, but they are, have you seen, is it like the series Fat Greek Wedding or something like that? So, yeah, so Greeks are one of the most obese European countries, right? So, I mean, yeah, it's nothing like America, for example, or even UK, but still, out of European countries, Greeks have the most obese people. It's been shown. So yeah, so just because they use tons of olive oil on their food doesn't mean it makes their diet super healthy. So Dr. Clapper on YouTube, if you Google or search on YouTube why olive oil is not healthy, Dr. Clapper, you'll see either his full 1 hour session, or there's a shorter version, 11 minutes, where he talks about why not even olive oil is healthy, right? So listen to that, it's fascinating. But briefly, I want to mention a few points, right? So yeah, so I forgot to finish my story. So they've done studies and they discovered, the conclusion of the study was that Mediterranean diet seems to be healthy, because of nearly being vegetarian, as in like vegan plant food diet. So there's a lot of fresh vegetables, fruits, and kind of nuts and things in there, um, and less animal products. And Mediterranean diet hence was, conclusion made that it's probably despite olive oil that the Mediterranean diet is healthy, right? So that was the conclusion of the study. So yeah, and um, you know, olive oil is terrible to heat it as well. You know how people use olive oil on salads and then they use it for stir fries. Olive oil, it becomes toxic at really low temperatures. So olive oil is not great for, heating or stir frying. So if you are going to use oil for stir frying, the best two to use are coconut oil, but that's a lot of saturated fat in that, um, and rapeseed oil. So these two oils are more temperature stable. So if you are going to use oil to stir fry it, use those two oils instead of any others. Yeah, I just realized I'm cutting some of my head here. Um, so yeah, so right. So you might tell me, okay, so I'll mention so the harms of olive oil or any kind of oil first of all. Well, first of all, is the most calorific dense food on the planet, okay? So animal fat as well as oils are 9 grams of fat per 1 gram of, 9 calories per 1 gram of fat. Okay, so in 1 tablespoon of oil you get 120 calories before you begin with the rest of the ingredients. Okay, so if you put 3 tablespoons of olive oil on your salad, you're already added 360 calories on its own, right? So that's first of all. So that's just unnecessary calories that you can avoid with skipping, oils on your salads, and we'll discuss it at the end of what you can use instead. So don't despair that you'll not have tasty salads, because you definitely will. The second thing is that the oils sludge your blood. Okay, so when you eat oily food, have you noticed that in the afternoon after you've eaten your lunch, you feel like, oh, this kind of sleepiness, tiredness, lethargy? So what happens is the oils, like you've eaten an oily meal, and that oils in, sludge your blood. So basically it slows down the movement of blood. So there's probably two ways it's how it's doing it, but one of the ways, it stiffens your arterial walls. Okay, so your arterial walls are not as flexible anymore, and they, can't push the blood as fast as normal. And also you might, the reason why you're getting sleepy in particular when you have eaten fatty meal, in you feel that in the afternoon a lot, is because the blood flow is slowed down, like I mentioned, and hence you don't get enough oxygen to your brain, because obviously the blood is what takes oxygen through your body into, to your head and to all other organs and into your lungs. But because the blood is sludged, it's moving slower, so you get less oxygen to your brain. So hence you get more tired and get more lethargic. Um, so yeah, and then the third bit, like I mentioned, so first of all, obviously obesity. Second of all, you get the sludgy feel, kind of, lethargy feelings. But the third one is obviously, like I mentioned, stiffens your arterial walls, which is really not a good thing for your health, as I've explained. So yeah, so it's, you really don't need, because you might think, well, or you might tell me that you need healthy fats, and yes, this is true, we do need some healthy fats in our diet. However, we need the fats in whole food, what's that word, as a whole food rather than extracts. Okay, so instead of olive oil, eat a few olives and you will get the healthy fat. Eat an avocado, eat a handful of nuts or seeds. So all of these are healthy fats, and we do need some for in our diet. However, not in extract form, but as a whole food. That's how our body knows how to utilize them best. If you have it as an extracted oil, when it's not attached to the fiber, to the actual plant material anymore, your body does not really know how to utilize it properly, how to it's kind of, it doesn't know what to do with it quite. So a lot of it then gets stored, readily stored as fat. Okay, because they've done a study, they've examined the fat tissues of a certain amount of women, and they found, I think Mediterranean, like probably in Greece, I believe. So they examined their fatty tissues, and they found that about 55% of their fat tissue was actually olive oil. All right, so your main culprit. So because it's so prevalent in their cooking and kitchen, it was readily found straight into your tissue, because literally you can tell what fats you have been eating from what accumulates, because it's such a quick way to store, you know, fat straight into your fat cells. Whereas, with sugar, to convert it to fat, it takes kind of much more complex body kind of transformation, like chain of events, to if you've got too much sugar, it's very rarely gets kind of transformed into fat and put in like that kind of way. It most likely, if you eat it too much sugar, too much carbs, the body burns it off as excess heat, for example, or it gets stored as glycogen in your cells as like storage, right? So that's how carbohydrates or glucose is getting stored. Whereas with fat, it's already ready to pack it in into your fat cells and it gets distributed in so easily. That's why the fat you eat in your through your mouth, it just gets straight on your hips, you can imagine. So if you are tempted to put oils and fats into your foods, just think of it, kind of creating a layer on your hips or on your midway point, or wherever you seem to accumulate fat. Okay, so think about it that way. Fat on your fat on your lips is fat on your hips. Something like that. I've heard it rhymed before somewhere. So yeah, so that's just the way it works. This fat storage is so easy to do from oils and ready fats like this. Whereas if you eat whole foods, it it's not as easily ready to store that way. And it kind of gets digested or gets eliminated from the body easier. So yeah, so like I said, we do need some healthy fats, that's true, but I've already mentioned, let's get our fat from whole food sources. So like I said, have some olives in your salad, have an avocado, have some nuts and seeds, or make a dressing out of nuts and seeds. So yeah, so that's the next point I wanted to mention. So you might think, well, how am I going to make tasty salads or some kind of salad dressings without using oil? Because normally a lot of people use a bit of lemon juice, which is great, with some oil, mix that, and then pour it on their salad, right? And like Dr. Clapper says, that does not make the salad heart healthy. Yes, add a few olives, which is great. Add some avocados, which is great, or make a dressing out of nuts and seeds and and lemon juice blitzed together, and that will have the lovely flavor and add the healthy fats, just not in the form of oil. Okay, so yeah, so there's so many oil free salad dressings and sauces, and I've got the whole playlist for you, so I'll link down below so you can have a look. But there's so many yummy ones. There's the pesto that you could use either as a spread on your breads, put it in wraps, or dilute it and have it as a salad dressing. You could make just simple quick whizzes. So have a bit of lemon juice or vinegar, and then blend a few sunflower seeds together, and that's your creamy dressing like that. Or I like just adding a bit of um what's it called, onion relish, with a bit of diluted with a bit of green olive brine, right? It's just a quick easy squeeze of this, couple of tablespoons of olive brine, and that's it. The quickest easiest, healthiest dressing. Or you could also use for the simple cucumber salad that I showed you how to do. Literally just chop up a cucumber small pieces and add a few tablespoons of yogurt with a bit of extra squeeze of lemon juice to kind of for it to be a bit more even sour, and some salt. That is it. That's your kind of whole salad done in no time. So there's so many different kind of dressings and oil-free sauces, and I've even made vegan mayo, a few kind of different versions of it that you can find in the playlist. Because normally what mayo is, so that's one of the other dressings you want to avoid store-bought, is your mayo because all mayo is is oil emulsified, normally with eggs, but in vegan case it's with like some soy milk normally, or something like that. So all you are eating when you're eating mayo is oil, lots and lots of oil. So yeah, so if you want to enjoy your vegan mayo, make your own oil-free um, mayo substitute mayo recipes, and I've got a few in that in that playlist below. I'll link. So yeah, if you have any questions, please let me know. But have a look at the video I mentioned, Dr. Clapper talking about how unhealthy oil is for us. It's not good for our arteries. Our bodies store it so easily and quickly as fat. It doesn't really know how to use it properly when it's separate from whole food, which was olive or sunflower seed and so on. And it's so calorific. We just don't need these extra calories. And get your healthy fats from whole foods, again, avocado, olives, nuts and seeds. So yeah, so fairly simple, and so many variations of yummy, healthy, tasty sauces that you can try. So give them a go and let me know what you thought. What was your favorite? So I hope that helped a bit. I hope you're going to do a bit more research into oils. And me and my husband, we're oil free in our kitchen when we eat out. Yes, we sometimes can't avoid oil. We always ask, whatever we're getting, can you make it less oily? Or can you maybe cook without oil, or much less oil? So yeah, but we might, not be able to avoid oil completely when we eat out. We don't eat out often though, for that same reason, because normally we are just so unhappy with these oily, greasy dishes you get in restaurants. So yeah, so we can't avoid it completely, but we try and minimize it. And at home we cook oil free. So yeah, so that's what I would suggest. And you might say, well, how can I stir fry things without oil? You might be okay with salad dressings if you have a look at my recipes, but you might think, well, how do I stir fry things if I don't have oil? Well, use the non-stick pan, and use a bit of either green olive brine, which I love to use, or some vegetable stock, okay, to or just water to dry fry things, and then pour 2 or 3 tablespoons to deglaze the pan, and it works great, and you really don't need oil to fry things. Yeah, so I've got some videos as well showing how to dry fry ingredients and things. So yeah, try this as well. Give it a try and see if you can eliminate oil from your life. Your body will thank you, because I loved the line that Dr. Clapper was saying. Your body is never not looking. Okay, you might think, oh, I'm gonna distract my body over there, and then I'm just gonna eat this oily thing. Your body knows, if you're eating something oily, you have, caused some damage to your body. And yes, you might not be perfect. Once in a while, you might just kind of succumb and, eat something oily when you go, when you're eating out or whatever. But if you can minimize that, and at least 80% of the time cook without oil, no added oil to your foods when you cook at home, then you will be on your way to much healthier eating. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know down below, and I'll see you in 2 days time, when we're going to be discussing our next topic, which is food staples. So we'll discuss a few food staples, what you can try to start with if you are transitioning into a whole food plant-based diet. So until next time, see you.